The success of Joe Biden's primary campaign, or the loss of Bernie Sanders, whatever way you want to look at it, has put paid to North Americans' radical left-wing economics for a generation. Across the pond, Britain's Labour Party, the largest social party in Europe, had a crushing defeat in the last election as the public soundly rejected the far-left dogmatic policies of Jeremy Corbyn. The inability of both candidates to galvanise support, particularly from the business community, has exposed a critical weakness of neoliberalist theory on both sides of the Atlantic. Or put another way, the strength of the productive vote in countries who historically have championed the free market. Thankfully, it would seem these nations are somewhat resilient towards soft-selling hard truths regarding the economy, as recently proven by the democratic response to 4 years of Texan-style leadership being a toned-down version of republicanism. Whatever of the obtuse or naive image Corbyn and Sanders failed to shake, that was ultimately not their downfall. What was, however, were the hordes of their minions who supported their campaigns, of whom were tantamount to neo-bad optics, as even a middle-aged, MAGA hat-wearing, white, straight, Rust Belt residing unemployed individual can garnish at least some sympathy, whereas an overeducated, unemployable, demanding, white or person of colour yet to earn their first tax dollar can't. To be clear, even if Trump were to lose the next election in a landslide, it has been a resounding achievement by the Republicans to pull the Democrats kicking and screaming from the precipice towards the centre. We see a similar pattern in the UK, as a post-Corbyn Labour Party's new leader could be described as a Blairite, itself a reaction to Thatcherism. In short, the right of the English-speaking world needs to consolidate their position with hope, as we can now dispel with the myth that the left having a universal autonomy upon the Overton window. However, being right-wing and therefore simple or practically minded, I do accept without apology many may feel threatened by this statement, but Bill Gates is not one of them. I hazard this also to be true for the Elon Musks, Mark Zuckerbergs, Jeff Bezos, etc., who, for a plethora of practical reasons, publicly support radical left romanticism as the only place in Paris one cannot see the Eiffel Tower is upon it. To be blunt, I struggle to believe any of the mentioned have genuine grievances with laissez-faire capitalism. Their public political profile, itself the product of bean-counting PR executives, gravitates towards the Democrats because it is something of a non-position relative to republicanism. They are in the business of selling products to their consumer base, not alienating themselves from it. Who knows the topics fleshed out at 40,000 feet on board their Gulfstreams, burning 10 gallons a minute, en route to climate change and borderless world conventions. No doubt the irony of their positions is not lost upon them. As a pre-internet person from the old world, I have to point out this is merely history repeating itself. Look at Andrew Carnegie, for example, a ruthless businessman who crushed workers' rights and went on to blow half his fortune on philanthropy, a model not lost on Bill Gates. Henry Ford, who personally funded anti-war envoys to Europe, while simultaneously profiteering from producing the weapons to fight it. Silicon Valley may be run by socialists, but it is led by capitalists. More importantly, I feel I have more in common with a wealth-producing employed lefty than a socialist unemployed righty. And so there is overlap, a fact that is not lost on Joe Biden. In reflection, radical Marxist revolutionaries have not just been seen off, but crushed for a political generation, not only by the right, but largely by a silent left also. And it is time we take stock of that fact. Social, political and economic stability is now the currency required to weather the upcoming storm. Some countries didn't have these entering the crisis, but every nation will need them to exit it.